Hello and welcome to Retro Bay Cafe After Hours. I'm Brian Watson, here with Mik, here with our producer Tom, and here with, I think is now our full-time fourth member, Ross.
I didn't say no for that.
You don't want to be the fourth member, I realise that, but...
Am I like the Ringo to the rest of you?
No, I definitely feel like Ringo. I definitely feel like Ringo.
You come in...
But you're there all the time.
Yeah, I know, but...
Do you think you come in, add gravitas and leave?
Alright, so who's that out of the Beatles?
I don't know.
Go on, Tom.
George Harrison? I don't know.
Yeah, go on.
He was the coolest one, I think.
I've never seen the coolest one.
I'm Yoko Ono, yeah.
I'm not sure how much gravitas she ever brought into the room, but... I mean, I went to go and see one of her exhibitions. It was down at the Baltic, and there was you look through this little thing, and it was just a TV, and all it was a fly flying about a fanny.
That sounds excellent.
You heard me, a fly flying about a fanny. There you go. So, yeah, not for me.
That's good, that. What was it?
Tom, have you got a clip of that?
Oh, we should.
Yeah, what was it called?
No, you don't. What
was it called?
I don't know.
It was probably called like
Yoko Ono's
consumerism or something like that.
Consumerism.
Don't get caught with your flies now.
Oh yeah. The flies, like the
I honestly don't. That's the thing that stuck in my head, and I was like, I pretty much walked out after that. I thought, no, I wasn't looking at this shit.
I can see it over this at home.
I don't like modern art.
Right. So we're here to talk about anything but Resident Evil 3. I think it's going to be. So we played, as you might have watched, we played Resident Evil 3, the remake. You might have guessed we are not the biggest fans of the Resident Evil 3 remake. Before we go on a huge rant about what we didn't like, is there anything you liked, Mik, particularly?
It was Dodge. I liked Dodge.
How long did it take you to...
It took me a wee bit to get the Dodge down, but I knew about the Dodge pretty early on. We talked about the Dodge.
We talked about the Dodge.
And we did the Dodge, but it took me a while to perfect the Dodge.
I wasn't even sure if I was going to show this clip. But
is this me dodging into things?
No, you had the Dodge kind of down with Jill, but once you became Carlos, it took a while to see the Dodge until the last time with Carlos. So, shall we watch this clip and see what we think? Oh, well, we're going to watch it on here today.
Have I got to go out here?
Oh, what's that there? Break a switch. Hunter.
Is there? Ah, you dirty hooer. What the fuck did I just do there?
Perfect dodge is a super punch.
Brilliant.
Wish we'd known that.
Oh!
Perfect dodge. What a
oh, wow, he just punched me back, to be fair. A super punch was pretty cool, though.
Yes, but it's how long it took you to find the super punch, which was just dodge.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't need to use it up until that point, obviously. But I never really did dodge.
We're going to watch some clips later where you definitely could have utilised the super punch.
Not as Carlos, though.
Yep, definitely later on we're going to see some clips.
Because the lady did a super punch.
No,
roll.
She did a roll.
Super roll.
But we, Captain Anorak commented on this saying, "Glad you found the perfect dodge in the most hilarious way possible, Mik." So. The video before, he'd said, "Mik, you really need to learn how to dodge." That was...
I just... Because it's not been about in the last few games, I'd forget it's there. And to be honest, I was going through the motions with this one. I think...
But as we'll see in
it's
some
not
later
exactly
clips.
like a secret, that one, is it?
I want to talk about Nemesis as a whole separate thing. But Ross, what about your early thoughts when you started watching it? What do you think? Without going too much into the character, what do you think of the general gameplay? Have you played it?
Well, that was my problem. I was thinking to myself, I've only played a little bit of the original. And I wasn't sure if I was going to watch it, because I was thinking to myself, I want to play this at some point. But then I thought, no, they're going to ask us to come here and sit here. So I thought, I'll watch it. And you know, I'm glad I watched it. Because
now you won't ever play it.
Yeah.
Good.
It just looks cheap.
It's
cheap, nasty, badly written. Some of the stuff you are reading now is terrible.
Isn't it just?
It's I can't understand how they put that together. I've been told since in the comments that it was put together with the same length of time as 2, and
No way.
and had the same production time, but it was made by 2 separate
teams.
teams, which I think originally they were saying Resident Evil 3 was supposed to be a DLC for 2,
That makes sense.
but then something about budgets or timing, I can't remember the exact details, but it just feels so cheap, and it's just hello. it's the story that they shouldn't get the story that bad. That's what I don't understand, how they could. In the very first episode, I know I complained quite early on that there was no build up to Nemesis. As a basic thing, I've went back and played the original recently, and I ended up watching a playthrough today of someone playing it to kind of catch up on the different bits. And that build, when you meet Brad and he says, "Oh, he's hunting stars, we're gonna get killed," and then Nemesis kills him. The first time you see Nemesis, that builds nicely. That's half an hour into the game. This one's literally a phone call, and here is Nemesis through the wall. Brad doesn't even get killed by it. He gets killed by 2 zombies in the bar. Like, that was a really pivotal moment in there. I remember as a kid seeing that, go, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And it's just intense. It felt the story, and that story. That's nothing to do with. That's just, how should we open the game? Oh, we'll open the game with Nemesis because he's on the front cover. Let's get him out there straight away. There's a lot of moments like that.
Absolutely. Lazy. Felt easy.
I feel with Resident Evil, you're never sure what you're going to get. Really.
Not at all.
And you can have some wicked games, and you can have some stuff like that where it's cheap cash in. Really, it felt like a DLC.
Yeah.
It felt like an early Xbox DLC where I think the file sizes were small on the 360 ones, so there wasn't a lot of like background in that. There was hardly any background.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's spot on. It's one of the things I didn't want to say, that the background outside wasn't great. Inside, when you were like in the subway, the detail on the posters and things like that was fantastic. But out and about, it really was very limited. What you could, was just.
Well, they must have had some talented intern doing all the posters that were like really humorous, which they weren't as well. Like, they were just tiresome, like making up different movies and stuff like that. But they were weird because they look so detailed compared to everything else being bland and.
Well, I didn't see
also
all
known as Easter eggs, Ross.
Yeah.
Well, Mick showed me today some of the ones that we just completely glossed over, because we did stop and read some of them.
We did stop and read some, yeah.
There were some quite interesting ones that you'd.
Yeah, there was.
found.
So I went on down a bit of a rabbit hole of watching about Easter eggs that we'd missed, and some of the posters were based around. So there was one that was basically a rip off of a Top Gun one, but also at the same time it was like 1944 game.
Oh yeah.
So both came out at the same time, and they were all based around other games or bits to do with other games as well.
Yeah.
Or Aliens was shown a couple of times. Terminator as well in some of them.
Yeah.
Stop, because I'm having to put these up on the screen right now. So
Oh dear.
Sorry.
you can have one more if you want.
Arthur was in one of them in the toy shop. There was a card game starring Arthur from Girls and Ghosts.
Oh yes.
So it was all other Capcom things.
Speaking of the toy shop,
Yeah.
there's a clip from the toy shop which is, I think, will lead us into the Nemesis talk that
yeah,
I want to
go
get
for- yeah.
to, because this is both. This clip has a bit that scared the shit out of us. It freaked us out. But it's actually probably the bad game mechanics that makes it even possible. So let's look at that clip.
Oh, can you see? Oh,
I see him.
Shit, the bed. That is fucking horrible.
Isn't it?
That is just the
Right.
Nah, I don't.
Diagonally
Nah.
right.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either.
It's the fact that he's not doing anything. Just look at, like,
Can I shoot him?
I wouldn't try. So that sums up, surely.
Yeah.
Like I said in the clip, that was quite terrifying. The fact he was doing nothing and he was just staring through the window. And if that was a choice, you would go, "Oh, that's quite an interesting choice because it's quite scary." It wasn't a choice. He literally had nothing to do, so stood still. There was no. They didn't have an animation of him inside a toy shop. They didn't have him inside a shop. to be able to come and
Yeah,
fight
if
you.
he was
So they
supposed
just
to be
put-
this big badass wanting to kill stars, he would just punch through the window and grab you out.
So they must have got into a down a rabbit hole of going, where do we have windows that work, or do we make fake windows? If we have windows that work and he's outside, we have to make him jump away, or should we just make him freeze? And literally, that must be what happens when you go inside. He freezes where he is until,
Baffling, isn't it?
and that's what's happening.
As a quick, like, if you were just picking up something there, you finished reading it, you turn around to go out, and you just saw him there, and you were like, shit, and then he jumped towards you or something, then
Fucking
yeah.
great, yeah.
But the fact that you could just stand there basically for 20 minutes if you wanted to, just watching him, and he's doing nothing, it's just...
Which, after going back to the original Resident Evil 3, it does benefit from those weird fixed camera angles. But there's bits in that where you walk and suddenly hear the footsteps and he's charging at you as fast as he can.
Yeah.
And that's because they have those fixed angles, so you can literally walk down a hallway and the third camera is his cue to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So it can... If that was a different game like this, you would turn around and go, "Where the fuck have you come from?"
Yeah.
But so it can't do that in the game. But it's trying to do that without actually putting enough legwork in. So he just occasionally pops down out of
I was
nowhere.
going to say that you say that occasionally he just jumps down from nowhere.
Like, where
he
from?
was on the roof that fight you had, and he jumped down with the flamethrower, and you think, well, where you come from?
Aye?
Where,
We're on the roof.
Can you just
How much higher are you?
If he can jump like that, why is he walking everywhere?
Is he like the Hulk?
That
you
must
know,
be-
like jump.
yeah.
The Hulk just
I think that's what they're
jumps,
trying
like-
to say, that he can just jump as high as he wants. But you go, why do you then walk really slowly?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just land in front of her and once she runs away, jump to her?
On her. Why not jump on her?
Yeah, jump on her would be there.
If he really wants to do it.
So the first thing that I saw with Nemesis is the actual lack of actual danger.
Yeah.
That first scene, I remember you saying, I'm just holding forward.
I wasn't even sure if I needed to hold forward
Yeah.
at some points. I was just doing... There was some bits I was just doing it in case I needed to.
And
I
think
don't
you
know
can-
if it was doing anything.
To a point, you can go, this is in, instead of having a long opening,
Video sequence.
Video.
Yeah.
they're letting you play it. But all you're doing is pressing forward. You're not really doing
you're not
much.
playing
It's,
it,
it's
no.
quite lazy. But then it comes in later, and it comes in later, and you go, well, is this ever going to actually get to anything?
I found that staggering to watch because I didn't think it would start like that. It's
No.
almost like I'd heard poor things about that game, but I didn't think it would be like that. It's almost like I wasn't a fan of 2, but they just learned things when they made 2 and then just discarded them.
Almost a bit like me playing it, to be honest.
I thought you were alright in places, you're aiming.
Oh, there's some of them.
the first
Has my
zombie.
aiming got any better?
Yeah, the first zombie you saw, you blow his head off, which is very rare. I think the first
I
zombie.
wonder if that has to happen. Like if you fire like up in the roof, it just boom.
Ouch. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I would still miss, though.
So there's a lot of this straight line running. There's a bit where the building's burning, and you start running up, and you're running away. And,
Up the scaffolding.
And I say to you, you like, is anything actually happening though? And you go, yeah, I'm just going to keep running just to be safe. I go, but I don't think anything's happening. And then you find a save room. In the middle of this burning building, you find a save room. And I think we say, oh, well, this must mean there's a boss battle. You go, well, you could have autosaved. It could have autosaved
Exactly.
at that moment. Which we did say as a cue. We started seeing the autosave.
Seen
Go,
it,
here's
around in the corner.
but then it goes, oh, no, here's a nice save zone. And we end up standing there for ages. We read a little
I think
book.
we went down.
We go back down again, and we think, well, he's not coming. And then you go up the top, there he is, ready for you. The lack of actual danger is just...
The difference between 2 and 3 there, like 2, when you got into the police station at the start, the zombies were just jumping out of everywhere. And this complete lack of any sort of peril or any sort of, like, real worry was just...
And I know that you, on the last one, you said we turned Mr. X into a bit of a Benny Hill character. This is times 10. The first fight, we didn't know what to do, and eventually we realised, if we just go around this flaming box, he'll follow us around, shoot, shoot. You did die the first time, but that's because we hadn't worked out how to.
Yeah,
Benny Hill him.
that's
as soon as you Benny Hilled him.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you decide to, like, he decided to use that flamethrower, which has a massive weakness to it. Why did he do that? Oh, I'm going to get them on the roof, right? I'm going to get her. I'll get this. He must have like a truck of all of his weapons. What am I going to have today?
If you want to talk about weapons, then let's talk about his rocket launcher.
What with the big, like, the light?
The light.
That's just telling you where it's going to go.
There's one bit where Mik dodges, it hits a car where Tom is. And she's like, ooh, okay. Then she goes to the other side, dodges it, just misses her shoulder and hits there. And I thought, that's really bad. But technically, in the game, you're missing, and it probably can't realise where it's hitting afterwards. Then there's a cutscene where it blows up there, right next to her, and she gets thrown over a car. No burns. No. If you shoot a rocket launcher that close to someone, they're dead.
Yeah.
You go, what, where's he getting his rocket launchers from? It's Wile E. Coyote's Acme rocket launcher. I just don't get it. And I'm glad that you're watching that and seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
It's because I just felt like sometimes I kind of got to a point where I wanted to shit on it. So sometimes I'm kind of going, is it actually as bad as I think it is? But it did feel pretty bad.
It just felt cheap, lazy, and what you were saying. Just bad decisions like that.
Speaking of bad decisions, Tom, what was your favourite bit?
I think my favourite bit in it, I was literally crying when I edited this, was the grenade.
The grenade.
Incident.
So shall we
Incident.
watch the grenade incident?
Yeah, let's watch it.
Get that health. I'm on it. Okay. Just grenade them.
I just need to figure out. Oh, you stupid clown! I know.
Fuck's sake. There's nothing better than when you make a mistake, because straight after it you make an even bigger mistake every time.
Right. But that first one, right? First one, fair enough. It was underhand, right? And then so I go the next one to go underhand again, and he fucking lobs it overhand. Like, there's no decision, like, I can't make it do one or the other. And fair enough, the first one, and then I turn and go, right, okay, he's done that, so I'll just fucking throw it again. And he just fucking lobs it.
Is it not where the reticle is? Or whatever
Receptacle.
Is that not like where it is? So you had it up there, so it was going to throw it there. And the animation
I mean, it's
dictates
possible, but
where you throw
I'd thrown it at that point and I panicked.
I mean, earlier on when you first started controlling him, and it was like, let's take care of this zombie. And you literally just went... and you do you remember that bit? And then you used your side arm, you were doing the same thing. He must have been trying to get into the mansion going, oh, for fuck's sake. Carlos has been bigging himself up as this massive nails hard cunt. And then look at the state of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not unusual for my aim, really, is it? Something that's definitely been proven during this is don't give me a gun in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, well, you were saying knives were your chosen.
If you're talking
bats, something
knives
heavy.
and bats.
If you're talking about aim, I just want to get back into some clips. If we're talking about aim, this, for me, this was one of the weirdest moments in my entire life. I felt like I left my body from laughing so hard. There's a bit when, if you look at it on this clip, when we show it, where I lean backwards and I just kind of go silent for about 2 seconds. In that moment, I thought I was going to die. And then I come back and I continue laughing. So let's watch that.
Casually go in the room.
Just slowly, casually.
Oh, there's a zombie! Of course it was a zombie. Oh, where's he gone? He's going down this way, like, hello.
Fuck me. Man, nearly fainted there.
I think there's 2 in here, you know.
Yeah, so everything about that clip sums up what we're kind of doing, really. The flash grenade, great plan. During watching it, Frost said, "Were you painting the room?" That's exactly it misses. Perfect. I think someone.
I mean, to be fair,
I think Captain Anorak says you left a perfect outline of a liquor.
I know, but the liquor was moving quite a bit.
Yeah, because you'd stunned him. But it was the bit when you were going, you put the key in.
I even said,
you thought, I'm fucking safe.
Well,
here.
I even said, like, I'm just going to casually go in this room.
And I remember in the last roundup, you said it's frustrating that stuff like that can happen in the middle of something really tense. And we went back and forth on that. So this time, terrified, liquor. I'll carefully put this key in. I'll open this door. No problems. And then when he runs in and sees that other zombie, it sent me somewhere else. What was your thoughts watching that, Ross?
Well, it was spooky at the start, and then hilarious.
So it was almost like horror, and then you realised it was Carry On Screaming.
Yeah.
You borrowed Nemesis's weapons, probably. Yeah, all the weapons in the game were shit. What about you, Tom? When you were watching that back, did you have a chuckle? Or are you just used to it now?
I'm starting to get used to it. They're all just blurring together now, actually. But
I'm going to, like, boss Resident Evil 4, like...
I'm pretty sure you're not going to.
I'm going to, like, practice making...
is that what all this has been leading up to?
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, if you think you're going to boss Resident Evil 4, let's watch what happened in the episode after the clip we just watched.
I didn't know that was coming. One at a time, take a number.
Whoa, behind it! Hell, mate! Where else was he going to come from?
I don't know, I thought it was one of the ones that was...
Oh, now he's back.
Oh, what? Oh, they're all up!
Just run!
Oh, no, there's a liquor! Oh. And zombies.
Flash grenade.
There's no point here, I'm dead. Dead, like. Oh, that's a slow one, isn't it?
Intense, huh?
It was, wasn't it?
It was incredibly intense.
So it did get commented that I seem to forget to double tap, basically. But in this one, I just wanted past the bits, to be honest. So I thought, I'll just kill a zombie, run away through, and then forget, actually, shit, they're not dead. Because, like, in Resident Evil 2, I was a big fan of stabbing them in the head.
Yeah.
And in the legs, because the legs fell off. Or
Right.
in their arms, because their arms fell off too. Or in the butt, just because they were lying like that.
Which wasn't in this game because
Yeah.
they ran out of time to
But
develop it.
I think I
Limbs
just
got
wanted
lost.
past all of this stuff, like, because it really was just...
But that's what I'm saying. I hated the game, and it felt like it was becoming a slog to actually record.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
But those 2 episodes on the trot are my favourite episodes of anything we've done, because they're just that moment where you've killed 5 zombies, walk through, one comes through the only door it can possibly come through, bites him, he turns around, all the ones he thought were dead are back up. He thinks I can get away, and liquor jumps through. In the end, you're just wildly shooting as you slowly die.
It's the liquor that got me to, like, honestly, why?
But it's great because it's the same liquor from Resident Evil 2, the same exact place.
Oh, fucking hate liquors.
That liquor, though, you were shooting it, but it
Yeah,
was missing.
but it was like going, it looked like I was
So it
just
looked
terrible shooting
comical,
it.
but
Yes.
to be honest, I don't think it was your fault.
Exactly,
there.
the reticle,
Yeah.
got it right, was over its whatever.
It's
Part
just
of the liquor.
this character you're painting out of a nonchalant, can't be arsed type of character. You were bricking it there, though. I know.
But like, to the point where it just wanted to...
I'm not bothered.
No, like, I wanted to get through it, but that was intense. That was intense.
It was.
That was intense. I was like, ah!
So, okay.
Like, when I watched that clip earlier on, not that, the one with when you went through the room from the
With the key.
With the
in
key,
the
yeah,
lid,
the
isn't
key
it?
room. I had to say to Brian, I said, what did I say there? Because it sounded like I said, oh, mommy. But it wasn't. It was, zombie.
So there was a lot of that. I think, especially when we got in the police station, you felt more comfortable because it was kind of a known space. And
Yeah. I think I even said that while I was playing. I'm like, oh, it's got to be safe, isn't it? Because this is almost like how bad it got in Resident Evil 2 in there when you get to the police station to start off with. So it felt safer when you went into it.
Well, I saw a comment, and I'd seen this on somewhere online afterwards, that the hole that you make in the police station was in the trailer, just the police station without the hole, and the hole is in Resident Evil 2. So all the fans started going, that must be where Nemesis breaks through the hole and grabs Jill. And then you blow it up. It's like such a letdown. And they've got this moment where people think, shit,
but then again,
that's the hole that Nemesis is going to create. And now it just
I suppose the moment you start playing it in the police station, though, they should have realised that, well, it wasn't going to happen then because he doesn't come after Carlos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's just that it felt like they kind of didn't do much fan service with doing a little bit and putting little nods in, but not really going, what people liked was never knowing when Nemesis was coming and actually being scared of him.
Yeah, they went the complete opposite route there.
Yeah, they're
didn't
like, go around a corner, here's a cutscene, it's Nemesis, run a straight line.
I think I did enjoy the second character in this one more than I did with the second character in Resident Evil 2 because it didn't have that stupid game mechanic where you had to like hack the electrics with a
You just like the big gun that meant you could miss more, but one might connect.
Sometimes it's all you need is one.
You told me earlier that your favourite bit was Giant Head.
Yes, it was. It was the.
Should we watch Giant Head?
Well, it wasn't. I actually said it was Giant Bobblehead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's watch that.
That head's coming down.
100%. Oh, brilliant.
Shit. Indiana Jones. We said we wanted. Go run down the stairs, mate.
I thought I might have been able to get down that side.
You've seen Indiana Jones, he doesn't dodge out the way like that.
He jumps. Yes, I got killed. But to be fair, because of that gap, and you look across there, it looked like there was a space.
Yes,
and
but
I
you've walked up that staircase.
I think I paid attention to any of that. Like, at no point was I looking up and down that staircase thinking, oh, there's a bit there I can hide in. So it looked like at that point there was a bit I could go to. As I come down there, I was like, oh, I'll go through there. And no.
That's like almost like you've never played games ever in your life. Because obviously the game was didn't want that to happen.
Well, that's true.
That moment was the most traditional game. That was Donkey Kong original.
It was
big thing rolling at you.
Crash Bandicoot or something like that, yeah.
There's plenty of those games where there's got a little space there somewhere where you can duck into.
Yes, but that obviously wasn't it.
Rick Dangerous, actually.
It was the stairs.
There we go.
And it was rolling down the
Yeah,
stairs.
but the scaffolding, like maybe there was a gap in the scaffolding. The lighting of the scaffolding in that one part made it look like it was possible you could go under it.
I would granted there is games that would encourage that sort of thing, but I don't think the lighting on there.
I mean, I possibly put too much into the lighting. Even looking back at that clip there, the lighting was different in that one part of it that looked like. But yeah.
So why was that your favourite bit?
Oh, that wasn't my favourite bit.
Oh,
I was
what's
just
your favourite bit?
you were just asking about bits, and I remembered it.
So it's the only bit you remembered.
I mean, I've blanked quite a lot of this out of my memory.
Would you ever play it again?
No.
No, okay.
Just remembered another clip.
I mean,
no, you wouldn't.
no, I wouldn't play it again. But like, boss battles weren't as hard as they could have been. Though.
The what?
The boss, like the final, like when you fought against Nemesis and stuff
Oh,
like
well,
that.
if we want to talk about them, I've wrote down the 4 forms of Nemesis.
Yeah.
My favourite being the first one, which was pretty shit, but the first one where he's just human walking around. Another one, the boss we just talked about with the fire and
Yeah.
that was shit, but that was my favourite of the 4.
He looked the best.
I like that form where it's more menacing.
Yeah.
The second one where he become. Let's do the clip before this, which really epitomises how little Nemesis actually chases you. Where you're running away, and I say, why don't you just stop? So let's watch that, and then we'll continue talking about the Nemesis. Let's see. Oh, I thought he was going to be at the top.
Fucker's still alive.
Oh,
Can't stay here.
run.
Oh God!
I would just run to this. Yeah, run that way.
Escape the creature. Where is
is
the
he?
creature?
Just behind you?
Nope.
No, because surely there's going to be a cutscene. That you might pick some stuff up. Autosave, you fucked. If that was red, it doesn't look like he's actually coming. So far, this game has always let us.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's all wonder. Half a raid, isn't it?
Yeah, once again, though, the game has tried to make you feel like you're in pressure.
Massive amount of
which
peril.
you felt. You did. You started running. They've put these things to collect, but then encouraged you not to collect them. Doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense.
It's okay, I won't read it out loud again. Oh, here he comes.
Here he comes. So, I think I said in that clip there, it encourages you to run, but then hides loads of story and items in the area you've got to sprint through. So it wants you to run, but also collect
Hang
stuff.
about and
It
find
makes no sense. I just don't understand why it.
Is it? Do you think they were trying to encourage a second run through of the game where you then collect everything?
But then it fucks the game because you go,
Yeah.
he's still coming, right? We need to run. Actually, let's just stop. I'll read this pamphlet. I'll pick up this.
Yeah, because it was a bit of Clock Tower
Yeah,
Museum or
which we
something like
zoomed
that.
through,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, I just don't understand the point. And then he comes on fire and he jumps in the river and he comes out like a dog, some dog
Yeah.
creature, and he chases you along.
You do.
Yeah, so he's like this big weird dog thing, and then he's spinning around in a circle.
Spinning around in a circle. He chases you,
He chases-
and then you shoot him, and then he runs around the edge, so you place an explosive, and then that drops him down again. You shoot him a few more times, and it's just rinse and repeat that.
Yeah.
I didn't die that one.
Don't
Did I?
think he died.
No.
I think you only died on the first time you faced him.
No,
The first boss. I don't think you died.
No, I think
on
I
any
died
of them.
in the last one as well.
You did. You did die.
Because we were trying to figure
you
out
did. Yeah.
what we needed to do. Like, we had an idea, but we were trying to figure out whether we could do it all in one
Yeah.
when you were doing the battery thing, I think.
So we'll get to that. So the dog running around thing, it was just a. I can understand they're trying to do a boss mechanic where you do something and it reacts to the thing, but it just felt tedious and they never felt like there was actual danger because surely one hit from him should kill her. So there was no menacing presence in that way. Then you get him killed, you get stabbed, you go to hospital. Then the third time you face it is in a big dome.
Yes.
With zombies dropping in occasionally to fight and
An
bite
electric
and
pylon
yeah,
thing.
he hides behind a number, and Carla shouts the number, and you've got to shoot that
Oh,
number
really? Oh, God.
to send him out. So we might as well just break through. Ross hasn't watched all of our videos yet. There's a few yet, so and I don't think he's going to go and watch the rest. But yeah, that is the last boss. The second last boss. He is the same thing. He comes in, fights. You can't outrun him. So you have to dodge constantly. So it's just Mik pressing dodge, shoot, dodge. Then he runs around the outside of the perimeter and hides behind a big, massive canister with a number on. You've got to shoot the light on the number, which sends him down. Shoot, dodge,
Yeah, because it doesn't get sense.
and then occasionally a
ruins
zombie
electrics.
drops in. So you're rolling away from... And that is the second last boss. And you're just going like, well, it didn't feel... You might have... Sorry if you did feel this way, but it didn't seem like you needed that much skill. Just persistence.
But that's why I didn't die.
I have to agree here. It's like there were moments where I thought, Mick's finally got it.
And then splash of water in your face.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
and so he brings me crashing back down to reality in the next.
I Oh, Mick's finally got his t-shirts out.
Wait until Resident Evil 4 comes out, just in case I do
Headshot.
somehow manage to
You're
get
really
it.
bigging this up.
I know. You've never played Resident Evil 4, have you?
No,
So you've got no idea what you're going into.
no, I've seen the clip.
And then the last boss nemesis was a massive giant slug monster nemesis. And the gun, she pulls out this gun. It drove me insane. I don't have a clip, but I'm going to get it up on my phone while we talk about it. And you pick up the gun. Mm-hmm. It's run out of battery.
Of course. Yeah.
So you have to plug the batteries back in so you can shoot the gun.
It's more of a cannon than a gun.
You guys talk about the gun while
Why
I
is
find
it
it.
like the BFG or something?
It's like she can't hold it. It's so big. She's like really struggling to hold on to this big cannon thing. I really want one for the shop. I think it'll look great up on the wall.
Even though you hate the game.
But the gun's amazing. Look at the gun.
My God, that looks like the gun in Aliens.
Ah,
But
yeah.
as if someone else came in, like a 12-year-old, and went, it has to be bigger. It has to be bigger and silver. The lightning flash. Or is the lightning on there?
She casually picks it up.
Oh, like Dumpty Dum.
She does
What's
look
her
like
name?
she does look like she struggles a little bit.
But it's pretty casual. She just turns around and then she throws out a one line. I can't remember what it is, but it's
of
like,
course.
eat this,
Eat
dickhead.
this. I think it is eat this dickhead.
It's like your world has collapsed from the beginning and you casually just... but yeah, so that infuriated me. And the fact that the end boss, the challenge really was, can you plug the batteries back in?
Yeah, can I do them all at the same time? Or do I have to do them one and then do another couple of things and then do the other one? I think it was 4. 3 was there? There was 1 on one side, 2 on the other side.
Yeah.
So it was... The reason that it died is to try to do all 3 of them.
And he wakes up again.
And he wakes up again and he kills you.
All right.
So you have to do one, shoot the other pus-filled sacks that knock him out, and then do the other 2, and then that's pretty much when she gets out and says, "Eat this, dickhead."
Speaking of technology not working, how did you find that episode that we did?
Yeah, no. With this game, I let you guys take control more of the production side, which was going really well until suddenly I was missing an episode.
What had happened? No turning on of mics.
No, everything was there except for the game.
It was the game. The capture
yeah.
card was on, but it only recorded like 2 seconds.
And
or so.
What did
luckily
you do? Get a stick man just firing off rounds randomly for 15 minutes?
we played it again.
We did it.
Oh, did you?
After we finished the game, we went back and played that. But
Section.
Well, because luckily we had a save.
yes, we had a save just before, but there was a pivotal moment in the first playthrough where we walk in and there's some tanks with creatures in. And Mick looks at one and said, I feel sorry for them. And he turns to the hunter and says, but not those cunts. And it was the first time the C word had made it.
The C-bomb.
Yeah. So Mick was really happy that had been
cut out.
out. So because we had to play it again. Luckily, Tom managed to get the audio from that and splice it into that video. So if you're watching that video, it's a real kind of mashup.
Because we do mention that we've lost the footage and now we're having to play through it again. And oh look, this is happening again. I mean, it's good because there was a couple of shit shots that. Well, actually, it wasn't the shit shots. There were more that the game screwed us trying to shoot things in that one. Remember they were coming over and I shot them and nothing happened at that point or something. There was something. It did. It was on the balcony bit.
Yes.
It had to be on the bit that was cut, definitely.
Well,
it wasn't Mick's
I
fault.
noticed this happened a lot in the game where you guys were trying to cheat the game by trying to kill monsters that you weren't even in the same room as yet, and then you getting really angry that they weren't dying.
No, this will fuck you off. If I don't think you've seen this bit yet. So he's at the top of some stairs. He goes down. He looks to the left, and there's like an open storage container with a big fuck off monster in. He runs away from that, opens up another storage container, zombies. So logic there would go, I'll just go back up the ladder that I came down on, wouldn't it? That's what he does.
Into it.
So when he's going up, he turns around, shoots a few of the zombies, turns around, that big monster has turned and went back to its starting position. Exactly, to replicate its...
Whoa, that
So-
is terrible.
So then he moves along to the side so he can see it, and he gets his rocket launcher,
Yeah,
is it out?
yeah, yeah.
Shoots it,
Grenade launcher.
doesn't take damage when it's in there.
Oh, because it's in its...
because it's in its starting
Yeah.
position.
Technically not in
shocking,
active.
that.
And
It is.
I'm furious, and I'm so angry. And Tom's saying we're trying to cheat the game, which we are by its rules. But if I can see it, I should be able to kill it.
Yeah.
In real life, if that was a real, whatever it was, what was it? Was it one of the frog monsters?
It was the hunter.
one of the hunter type C.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was in real life and that hunter type C was there, I mean, you would just climb the ladder so it couldn't get you and shoot at it from there, so it couldn't get to you. But never mind. It was just
that's not
screwed
how
us.
it
Try to
works.
screw
So,
us over.
yeah,
but I did
there's a
screw
lot
us
of
over
stuff like
because
that.
I lost like 2 grenades.
And we know how deadly you are with grenades.
How precious they are.
But
to
there's
me.
loads of little bits like that where you think the logic says if you can do this, you should be allowed to do it, and it's like no, because you're not. There was a bit where there was 2 hunters in a room, and you went in, you tried to throw a grenade, it hit the door, landed, and blew you up. Next time round, you opened the door, threw the grenade in, 1 blew up. 1 came to the door. You went back, the door closed. When you opened it again, it went back to where it originally was.
Facing
You go
away
out,
from you.
close the door, you went back in, he pops around, it's not there. Goes in, it comes to him, he goes back to the door, but as soon as the door closes, it's
back to
instantly
standing.
back where it was. That's kind of 1990s.
Yeah, that's poor. Like,
Isn't it?
Isn't it? It's like... But that game, it just feels cheap, where they've not really thought, or they've just went, well, fuck it.
Aye, they've all paid for Resident Evil 2, so I'll definitely buy this.
And that
It's what-
definitely
it's
felt
what
like
they-
It's because Resident Evil 2
Did well.
like everyone loved it and thought
I mean,
it was
it
amazing.
looks stunning.
So then,
And there was no burger in 3 either.
Yeah. There was no good food.
We've got one more clip quickly because we're going to have to wrap this up. But the game is, and I don't know the answer, but maybe you guys will. What impression am I doing at the end of this clip?
Okay.
Let's watch. It's too scary. If they don't come out, that's ingenious.
Oh, absolutely.
Because every game you've ever played tells you that this starts to crack at some point. The door told you!
They're not locked. Surely not.
Yes! It's because they're loose, you've got to kill them.
No, I don't know what.
Keep you back to that wall. Do them again. Shoot them with other bullets. Other gun, acid one, he's coming. Me. That wasn't so bad.
It wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be. No.
What the fuck impression was that?
I don't know.
I don't even remember you doing it.
I don't. I just watched it back. What the fuck am I talking about?
Did you want to go for something and then...
I genuinely don't know. It's like a sea captain, isn't it?
It does sound familiar. If you guys know, please comment
Yes,
below.
please.
If you know what's going on in Brian's head, please do comment. Let us know. And because he'd love to know.
But what do you think of that little bit before? The tanks coming out and the hunters? And
It was
scary?
all a bit spooky until they just backed off. Like, we need to get a little bit back and then do that dance thing. But yeah, it's cheap, nasty game, isn't it?
I'm just worried that probably one of the developers is watching this and they put their heart and soul
I
into
can
this.
guarantee they are not watching this. Unless it's Captain Anorak.
Well, I mean, that is a good point, though. Like, there is work being put into it, but there's a level of polish that it should have went
So I think
through.
what they've done when you said it was 2 studios made it, they both went, don't worry, the other one will put all the good bits into it. And then the other one went, oh no, don't worry, we'll just do this little bit because they'll do the good bits, it's fine.
Do you know?
And then no one did the good fucking bits because no one talked to each
Do you
other.
think it would have been as much of a disappointment if 2 hadn't done so well and had good? Do you think we'd hate it as much, or do you think we'd still?
That's a good question. That is, I think the problem was is they didn't give it enough time between.
Or if that had been DLC.
If it had been DLC, then it would have been totally different.
If it was DLC, you would have lowered your expectations.
Yeah,
slightly.
absolutely.
Well, what about if
absolutely.
that was game 2 and game 2 was game 3, so there was a slight progression in quality?
So has
Do
it
you mean
done?
if they chose
if
to
the-
do that, or do you mean if that's how the quality is?
No, if
worked?
they
If
chose
the
to
qual-
do
if the
that.
quality of 3,
Because it
was the
did feel like
qua-
there was a step back.
it massively felt like it was a
But
step
you're
back.
making excuses for the fact it was a shit game.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, it's
So I got real high expectations for 4.
well, we've had
It's an epic.
we've had some good. I think we all know, but let's finish up. Well, what did you think about the game? Then did you like it? No.
Nemesis looked great to start off with, though.
To start off with,
He looked mean.
I liked seeing the places from 2.
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah.
seeing Kendo again,
Yeah.
and that stuff.
You did. I remember
Yeah.
that. You were happy as Larry when that was
Yeah,
happening.
and I liked the fact that I knew his daughter was in the back. It was
Oh,
a bit
I know.
like, yeah.
But that's because you'd had such a grim experience for like 3.5 hours. We were like, oh, maybe it might get good.
There's a familiar face. It's getting better. Oh, his daughter's alive. I know she's not later.
You know, Star Wars lives on that kind of thing.
Yeah, when it's slightly
Hi-
failed, they just get a cameo.
Yes, hire Obi-Wan in for a little bit, or hire Darth Vader in, and then after a while you start thinking, you know, they were doing a hell of a lot of things
If
at
you-
the same time.
If you want more Star Wars chat, go and watch, go and listen to our podcast, Retro Bay Cafe Podcast. No, Retro Bay Podcast, where we talk about Star Wars in the first episode. So, yeah, we talk about the prequels and our opinions.
Oh,
on,
yeah. Oh, it's, little opinions, yeah.
And how
No one's got time for my full
I went on a
opinions.
school trip to see Phantom Menace and that.
Oh, it was lovely.
So once again, we've started without talking about Resident Evil 3 and we finished without talking about Resident Evil 3. So I think we should just.
Did
go.
you? What, would you have?
Really?
Would you want to play it after watching us play it, Tom?
No, I was I was tempted with game 2, but game 3, no.
Yeah. So